Hey everyone, welcome back to Fate Stay Night Remaster with Jurgen Jays. So, just a fair warning, I had put a post yesterday saying that I had hay fever yesterday. That's why there's no video yesterday. So I'm still kind of congested. You can probably tell in my voice. That's really the reason why whenever I'm struggling with allergies and sinuses that I don't record is just because I know that it's going to, not that I have like awesome 10 out of 10 sound quality or anything. Like, no, obviously it can get improved pretty drastically from what I currently have. That's why I've talked about getting a new mic and stuff like that with um, any future money that maybe I might make in YouTube land way far off in the future that probably will never happen, but if it does, if it doesn't, whatever. But yeah, so that's why I usually don't record. It's just from a quality thing, and also the entire time you be here, like just lots of sniffles and stuff. Luckily, right now, since I just woke up, I went on ahead and hopped on to record because I'm still like it's congested and not runny. I know that's maybe TMI, but at least with it being congested, I'm not sitting here like sniffling the entire time, even if my voice is slightly off. But that's okay. Also, what? Sorry, I know this is a lot. One more thing before we get going today. I will not be putting out any videos from this upcoming Friday till that next Friday. So that is June 28th, I believe, all the way up till July 4th. I won't have any videos to put out just because I didn't make a backlog. I didn't really fill up to making a backlog worth a week. It just takes time and energy, and I've been really busy with a lot of other stuff this past week, so I just haven't carved out the time for that. Um, but yeah, and then as soon as I come back, I'll be back on it. Which kind of sucks because I've really enjoyed this game recently, and like I really look forward to recording these and interacting with you guys after the fact, and it's just fun, So, but like I'll be having fun. I'm going to New Orleans with my dad and my brother. It'll be a good time. First time us being there. Really looking forward to it. So, yeah. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. We already went over this. Yeah. So we just finished our fight with um Berserker and Illya, FYI, and now we're like, how the heck are we gonna get home and survive? We survived a night I was prepared not to. After defeating our greatest enemy, we leave the winter forest. Well, if that was the greatest enemy, then, you know, everything else from here should be pretty easy. Yeah, save game, please. Also, I did get confirmed too. Dang, I'm sorry. I'm awful at remembering these names. Like, I see the profile picture matched with the username, and I'm like immediately like, yep, it's that person. Like, I remember my interactions with them. But one of my commenters was like, yeah, Archer is actually in fact dead. Uh, just because Rin confirmed it. Illya slash Berserker kind of brushed up and commented on it. Like, even though we didn't see his death, he did make a sacrifice for us. So, uh, to clarify for anyone that's new to this and you'd been listening and been like, "Oh, I'm holding on to hope too" or something, he's dead. At least in this route. I know he's back in action on the other routes since that's kind of a reset to the storyline, right? Yeah. The sky was still pale gray. Was it dawn or dusk? It's hard to tell. The vast sky overhead and a wide field stretching out on all sides. The skies seemed close enough to touch, clouds low enough to grab hold of. This was one of the battlefields she fought on. But there was no longer any cavalry on her service. The sprawling golden meadow was gone. Instead, unfolding under the dull sky, was the remnant of a battlefield. These, like, very yellowy, I don't know. Maybe I'm off put by yellow, but to me they don't make the best thumbnails. like the few times that I have done something that was yellowy. Granted, the other stuff I did to the image was pretty lackluster, so probably why it wasn't the best either. No emotion. She must have seen this kind of thing almost daily. Her desolate heart was empty. As she leaned against the golden sword, she exhaled deeply and let her shoulders relax. The battle must have ended. After glancing over the bodies of the defeated soldiers, she returned to her camp. Those were the battles she experienced. Her cold, calm demeanor remained unchanged. No matter the predicament she'd been in, she remained just like the woman I've always known. Who's I in this case? Shirou? And then, I see the dream of a king. The moment she drew the sword, she stopped being human. She took over for her father as a feudal lord and became a king with many knights. She was known as King Arthur and Altria. I've realized now I keep on misspelling her actual name because I kept on writing Artoria and not Altria. I don't know why I was writing that. Oh well. The life of the girl who once aspired to be a knight changed so radically. At least she was also kind of known as Arthur, so it fits into the legend a bit more. She acted like she was the king's son. The ruler of territories and knights had to be male. Only her father and the mage knew the king was female. She covered herself in iron and hid that truth for the rest of her life. Well, I was about to comment on the long hair and braids, but I suppose most people of the time weren't getting their hair cut frequently, and braiding was a lot more common both in male and female. Well, was common for males as well as the female. There were those who had their suspicions, but the king of knights, who wielded the sacred sword, knew neither injury nor age. Excalibur was blessed with the protection of the fairies, making its possessor immortal. As such, nobody questioned her tiny frame, which was much too small for a knight, or her face, which may have appeared girlish. Instead, she was hailed as a truly beautiful king. And in fact, the king was invincible. Until she died. Neither size nor appearance mattered. Those who lived in fear of the savage invaders desired a strong king, and the valiant knights would follow only a truly superior leader. The king satisfied each of these conditions, and so nobody questioned the king's identity. Let me get a sip of this coffee. I don't love the blend that I'm currently rocking. Mainly, it was leftovers from one of my mom's, and it's called clean coffee. That alone, I'm immediately like, get away. But it's like no toxins, no possibility of mold or acidity. She had to have it because of like some kind of diet she was on. It's alright. It's not the best coffee. I don't know if y'all are big coffee or tea drinkers, but I love them. I just like fluid, like whether it's I say alcohol, not to say I'm alcoholic, but I love a sippy drink. I love my monsters. I love my tea, my coffee. I mean, all those are caffeine and drug. But I also like juice, water. Like I actually guzzle back so much water, but I just like the feeling of liquid. All that mattered, all that mattered was the king protected the nation. The new king was fair and selfless, and always stood on the front line, fighting and defeating the nation's enemies on the battlefield. Many enemies and citizens died, but the king was always just, and she played her role as king better than anyone else. We get it, she was great king. Say something new, please. There was no room to suspect otherwise, and any such suspicions would be pointless, while the king was right in any case. She knew no defeat on the battlefield. Her army reformed the lost cavalry, then charged across the battlefield, defeating foreign infantry and smashing through the defenses. Did she always stand on the front lines because her nation was behind her? Before she headed out to battle, she had to cast aside so many citizens. Once she was on the battlefield, she had to cut down all her enemies. As her battles were fought in defense of her nation, it was common to wring villages dry to support the army. In that sense, no knight killed as many as she did. I can't tell if she ever really felt that burden. Oh, of like taking away men and women from their families? Like, not mortally, but, you know, recruiting them as a knight. It's not something I can really know from a dream. But I do know she didn't have a moment's doubt or hesitation on the battlefield. Grief never touched her thoughts when she sat on the throne. A king is not human. Human emotions would make it impossible to protect people. She kept to her oath, never wavering. Dang, okay, so she mega suppressed herself. She addressed the issues facing her nation, and she worked on matters of political concern. She ruled without wavering, and she punished the deserving without effort. And after winning so many battles, unifying so many clans, and punishing hundreds of criminals, King Arthur doesn't have a human heart. One of the knights in her entourage murmured this. It also happens to be the same one that's been narrating this entire time for some reason. Everyone must have felt the same way. The more perfectly she carried herself as a king, the more everyone questioned their monarch. Oh, like questioned her humanity. There's no way someone devoid of human emotion can rule humans. I disagree, but maybe not in this case. Several reputable knights left the White Castle of Camelot, but the king accepted this as inevitable and incorporated it into her rule. And so the fair king, once so admired by her knights, began to isolate herself. Such trivialities were of no concern to the king. Even if she was deserted, feared, or betrayed, her heart would remain unchanged. It couldn't be helped. The moment she took that sword, she abandoned her emotions. And then her final battle began. So, because it didn't say necessarily one way or the other. This may be something you guys know. In this case, do you think it is a matter of she got Caliburn and that somehow, like, pulling the sword itself is what literally caused her emotions and her humanity to be suppressed? Or, well, I know it at least suppressed, like, the aging part of it, obviously. But on the other hand, with like, the mental and emotional suppression and that aspect of her humanity, do you think that might be something that she suppressed, thinking, oh, I have to be this way for my people? Which is, you know, something a lot of leaders do. I sometimes have, as a teacher, I've done that before. Like, oh, I need to, like, especially my first year, I was like, I need to be always overly collected and like show no anger ever, show no sadness ever, and then I would blow up, honestly, at some of my students, and then I decided, you know, I need to handle this much better as a leader. So I wonder in Altria's case, which is the truth. The battle at Baden Hill ended in a complete victory, and that inescapable conclusion led to the savage clans finally offering peace. And so, the nation that had been holding its breath, waiting to be destroyed, knew a moment of peace. The age of warfare, where a nation leaned on a singular hero, came to an end. Britain was finally going to become the nation she'd always dreamed of. The scene starts to fade away. I realize the dream is ending, and I'm about to wake up. I can feel myself drifting closer to wakefulness. But before that happens, something really pissed me off. She's stupid. Oh, she's strong and a gifted fighter, But there's a difference between good at fighting and being cut out for it. The people around her pissed me off too. If she didn't notice it, someone else around her should have told her, or she would go on making the same mistake forever. Seriously, how the heck did she have so many people around her and not one told her the truth? Which truth are you about to go confront her about said truth? How did we magically end up back here? We just stumbled in the morning like a drunk coming back from a night out. I wake up. We escaped Illya's forest and returned home yesterday afternoon. Okay. Chisaka went back to her room, complaining her stomach hurt, and my headache wasn't getting any better. So we all decided to just go to sleep. It must have been the extra weight I was lugging around. As soon as I got into bed, I couldn't get back up. I don't blame you. Also, you had several broken bones that your body was trying to mend, even if it was with the self-healing power. That's still exhausting. Saber was the only one who seemed fine. And Tosaka and I left her to guard the house while we slept. And then... So I slept for half a day. At least my headache's gone. At the very least, I still feel my broken bones. I'm relieved. The whole thing with Berserker, the headache I got after copying Saber's sword, was unreal. If it had kept up, my head might as well just have split down the middle. Then I notice... Huh? Saber is sitting on the floor, right next to my head. Saber? Why are you glaring at me like that first thing in the morning? Not that I mind or anything. Did something happen while I was asleep? No. I simply had a dream. Huh? No, it's nothing. Let us have breakfast. It is time to wake up. Alright, I'll get to being your mate again. Barely good at anything else. La la la, even though I made a magical sword pop out of my butt. Saber gets up and heads silently out of my room. What was that about? I don't know why Saber is acting strange. I'm really not sure, but... If she was sitting by my bedside the whole time, was she nursing me back to health? I don't know how she would have done that, buddy. I mean, she doesn't do magic. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. The moment I have that thought, the scene from last night comes back to me. What the heck am I thinking? I shake my head to rid myself of those impure thoughts. That night, my contact with Saber was entirely about my duty as a master. Not at all these deep romantic feelings I feel towards her. If I don't rationalize it like that, I'll never be able to look at Saber again. I mean, physically you could, maybe you would be embarrassed about it, but... Calm thoughts, calm thoughts. We acted normal when we were coming home... Oh wait, we acted normal when we were coming home yesterday. That's all I need to do. Act normal. Not act like I really, really want her. No, I was actually just tired yesterday, but I still need to act normal. Besides, Saber wouldn't like me acting like this. You don't know that. Okay, I just need to calm down, put on my apron, put on my maid outfit, and get to work. Make breakfast, first of all. Take a deep breath and get changed. It's 9 in the morning. Saber hasn't eaten since lunch yesterday, so she must be hungry. Nine is so late. It's practically not even morning anymore. How dare I woke up at 10 in the morning. I'm not gonna lie today. I still went through the trouble of getting pancakes. As hungry as Saber must be, to probably make a hearty breakfast. Yep. You need the food too, bud. Y'all have not eaten in a while. Shirou, is it just you and I this morning? Do we need to wake Rin up? No, everyone's still asleep considering what happened yesterday. It's probably best to let them sleep. I'll leave their food out, and they can eat whenever they like. Who is they, other than Rin? Did we bring Illya back? I know he didn't want her getting hurt. I wonder if he went that far. Or if she managed to make her way up to the church. I see. Then I would appreciate it if you prepared the meal quickly. It is much later than usual. I'm starving. If you don't feed me right now, I will drop over and die. And then the Holy Grail War will not continue. I know. I feel better now. So let's head to the dojo once we finish eating. The dojo? Do you intend to continue your training with me? Why not? It's our daily routine. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Did I skip something, or is that just a reaction? Okay, that was just a reaction. Anytime the screen flashes in and out just to show the expression changes a little much sometimes. Just because I don't know what I'm missing, or if I accidentally hit. Because at that same instance, I hit my space bar. Like, I double tapped it. Anyway, sorry. What's wrong, Saber? Did I say something weird? Oh no, I just assumed we would no longer be training. With Berserker defeated, I thought there would be no further reason for you to continue training as we had been. I see. You know, you may be right. I'll just stick to being a maid. The common enemy we all share in Berserker is now gone. It's gone now. What about all the other common enemies? We teamed up to take on an enemy far stronger than us, and that's also why I trained so furiously in such a short period. I thought you were just all doing that for the totality of the Holy Grail War, like until it was just you and Rin left. Well, Archer's gone, but you know. But I'd like to keep training. I'm still an untrained mage, and I get to see the real you when you wield a sword. That makes it easier for me to talk to you too. Well, I say easy. What I mean is that I kind of enjoy it. It's okay. You could enjoy that? So I reveal my true self when I am in the dojo. You sure do. At least you don't hold back. I prefer it that way. Besides, I think you get to loosen up as well. Anyway, our routine has been us sparring in the mornings. Don't take the few pleasures I have. I love getting beaten by a stick from you. It's my favorite pastime. I take the ground beef and pork, green onions, mushrooms, onions, and eggs out of the refrigerator and head to the kitchen. Omelet? Well, no, he has beef and pork. Huh. All I need is panko, sake, and cooking oil. Katsu? Tonkatsu, and I don't know what beef is in Japanese, but beef katsu? Well then, I have no objections. Hamburg? Maybe? Saber mumbles quietly to herself in the living room while I work. I can't quite hear what she's saying from the kitchen. She's just talking about how much she loves you, and how if only she was a real girl, y'all would be married, and blah 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 blah. Nothing important. Smack smack pound pound. I mix onions, panko, sake, egg, salt with 400 grams of ground beef and pork, and knead it all together. I've decided to be bold today. So I'm making stewed Japanese-style hamburg. I knew it was Hamburg! I called it. I mean, initially I did guess katsu, but Hamburg steak for breakfast. Rin, are you awake? Saber's voice drifts out from the living room. Tosaka? My other true love? Oh, I'm cooking breakfast for you too. I will satisfy all of my lives. Now where's Sakura? I glance back over my shoulder as I cook. Death walks in the room. Morning. Hey, I'm gonna pour myself a cup of milk, Shirou. Tosaka comes in looking grumpy and grabs a carton of milk from the fridge. I feel all better now, apparently. At least, visually I do. Slept too much. My head hurts. Hey, what's this? You're really going all out this morning, aren't you? Where'd that grumpy face she'd been making a second ago go? Her eyes are practically sparkling now. But she sees food. Eh? Oh, that looks good. And here I was starting to get hungry. This is perfect. Is that so? Well, she's the one who gets to enjoy herself here and not me. Reminds me of what my old man used to say. Someone gains, someone else loses. You're getting a meal too! What are you talking about? And you get to cook for 2 girls that you have crushes on. What better way of wooing them over? I've thought this before, but you've got a keen eye. Well, I'm just a discerning sort. Looking forward to this breakfast you're making, though. She waves as her oh my gosh, I had skipped over that. As she heads to the living room. With a glass of milk in one hand, Tosaka plops down at the table. Seriously, I don't know where she gets off acting like king of the castle here in my house. You got that sub energy, bro. Not gonna lie. You are certainly lazy today, Ren. Yeah, way to go, Saber. She's saying everything I wish I could. However, Tosaka dismisses the Saber's criticism nonchalantly by just agreeing with her. Of course I'm lazy now. With Berserker gone, now we just have to deal with Caster, Lancer, and Assassin. They're noting compared to Berserker. Should be cakewalk for Saber. You did not know that. Defeating Lancer and Assassin may not be as straightforward as you think. And we have yet to meet Caster. Don't be so humble. No ordinary heroic spirit is any match for King Arthur. Something also, I know she's already dead, but we never found out. We knew she was likely another Greco-Roman figure just by the whole Pegasus thing. But we never got her true name. I'm wondering if that's something we'll ever discover in this route. Same with Archer. Like, I don't know if we'll ever, like, until a future route, I don't know if we'll get him, get his identity and all that. If that'll come in another route, and it's just kind of is what it is for the time being. Don't be so humble. No ordinary heroic spirit is any match for King Arthur. We've solved your magical energy problem, so there's no servant who can best you now. ... Saber narrows her eyes at Tosaka. I have the same reaction. We shouldn't let what Tosaka said there just go by. Tosaka, do you know who Saber is? I had a hunch, but yesterday confirmed my suspicions. Only one hero can wield a sacred sword like that. Well, I wielded, I helped. I was a little surprised to learn that the legendary King Arthur was a girl, but I can't really argue against that when she's sitting right in front of me. Besides, legends are rewritten all the time, right? I don't know if Saber was the one who hid it or if the people around her did, but I guess there was a problem with having a girl be king in medieval times. So, I don't blame them for saying she was a man. Yeah, when you put it in that context, it makes a lot more sense in this story that the legend of Arthur for everyone still continues to be a man, despite her being a woman. Tosaka's tone remains the same. Saber at least doesn't seem to mind. If anything, she seems to agree with Tosaka. She certainly doesn't seem about to argue. ... Also, I want to point out, Tosaka is still cooperating with us, even though she is out of this race. I feel like that shows a lot of Tosaka's character. Because if I don't remember when we said that our little partnership would become null and void, but the fact it's still going is, I think, says a lot on Tosaka's part. She's basically acknowledged the fact a hero with a connection to the sword is selected to be the Saber servant. Based on that alone, she would absolutely make for the best Saber. The heroic symbol of Britain. The wielder of a sacred sword, so famous she's even known in this faraway land. But then, what of it? The legend of King Arthur ends with the king's death. Even heroes are still human. From what you saw in your dreams, she's doesn't have her humanity, whatever that means. Their stories usually end in death, but no hero dies a proper death. King Arthur was no exception. If I remember correctly, King Arthur died in battle. At the Great Battle of Camlan. After unifying Britain and supposedly having no more foreign enemies to defeat, King Arthur was drawn into conflict with the unexpected enemy in the end. It was the treachery of her own army, the knights she vowed to protect and fought alongside for so long, that led to King Arthur's death. King Arthur defeated the army's leader, but took a fatal wound in the battle and so entrusted her only surviving knight, Bedivere, with the task of returning the sacred sword to where it belonged. Travel across this bloody battlefield and over the hill. You will find a deep lake. Throw this sword into that lake. Bedivere did not fulfill that final duty. Fearing the implications of losing the sword, Bedivere falsely reported not once, but twice, that he'd thrown it into the lake. Each time, King Arthur, once more, ordered Bedivere to throw the sword away. Finally, on his third attempt, Bedivere was able to fulfill his king's wishes. It is said that King Arthur died after making certain the sword had been returned. So, Shirou, what do you plan to do now? Sokka suddenly turns to glare at me. What do you mean, what plan to do? I'm talking about that dangerous girl sleeping in the Japanese-style room right now. Oh yeah, okay, so we do have Illya. I told you to leave her alone, but you insisted on carrying her here. I also have something to say on the subject. Though she has lost Berserker, Illya remains a dangerous master. I question your decision to shelter her. We should take her up to the church, I feel like. So. Yep, you should just leave her with Kirei. I like his idea. The two glare at me as one. But my little sister, who is very, very evil, that I still want right beside me for some reason. That's right. The moment Berserker disappeared, Illya fainted. She fainted, immediately started showering. She showed no sign of waking up, and I couldn't just leave her, so I brought her back home. Of course, Tosaka and Saber objected, so I carried her myself. Master who loses their servant either flees before another master kills them, or is protected by the church. Tosaka says we should let Kotomine take care of her, but I don't think that priest would take very good care of Illya, so I'm having her stay in one of our spare rooms. Why? What is with your obsession of being like, I gotta collect all the girls, they all gotta come over and spend the night? I just gotta... Now that, Shinji's dead, maybe we should... Oh, Shinji's dead, how's that gonna affect Sakura? Ah, that's tough. Alright. Shirou, your actions here are commendable, but it is dangerous to get involved with Illya. It is not too late. We may either send her to the church, or seize her command spells. Saber's serious. Changing her mind won't be easy. Can we take her command spells? Or do you mean just get her to use them? Do you have a problem? We couldn't just leave her alone. Illya's just a kid. Illya's just a kid, and she wasn't herself. I'd feel bad leaving her with Kotomine. How do you know she wasn't herself? You have not known her longer than a week. You'd feel bad? How can you say that with a straight face after everything she did to us? I agree. You have too much empathy for Illya. She tried to kill you many times. the disapproved look that both of them have towards me right now. The two are more united than ever, but I need to stand my ground. Illya was our enemy, but she never had any malice for us. Doubt. I'm pressing X to doubt right now. As long as she has a good influence, she won't do any more harm. X to doubt. And I said this at the start. I'm not fighting to kill masters, I'm fighting to end the battle. I mean, I feel like if we took her up to Kirei Kotomine, he would be relatively good influence. You know, church. Granted, some churches aren't the best influence, but church nonetheless. I know that, but... Saber's tone softens, though she's clearly not convinced. But... Big but. Oh yeah, so you're going to forgive Ilyasville for everything she's done? Let me tell you something. She's attacked other masters, and you don't know how many masters she may have killed. You're going to save her, even so? Well, yeah. Illya admitted she killed Shinji even after I let him go. Shinji used Rider to try to kill everyone at school. If that's what he did as a master, I suppose his death was inevitable. Oh, okay, so we write off murder and manslaughter because the other guy was bad first. I see. But Shinji was a friend of mine for years, and thinking of Sakura, can't just write off what Illya did. But that means there's no chance of closure. Even if Illya's no longer a master, as long as she can reflect and feel remorse, I think we should save her. Okay, you might be right. But I, for one, won't ever forgive her for what she did to Archer. She killed my Archer. We're in an impasse here. That wasn't Ren talking. We all freeze, staring at each other. But then... Oh, come on! All servants disappear in the end anyway. If you're so worried about that, you fail as a master, Ren. Hee hee, I've been listening this entire time. So, what are y'all gonna do with me? Gets up on the table and just starts, like, swinging legs back and forth. Whee! The very girl under discussion appears. What? Ilyasville. Hold it! I have no business with you two. I don't have any intention of fighting, so don't get so angry at me. I'm just a cute little girl, teehee. Honestly, I'm embarrassed for you two. Just as fellow ladies, you're older than me, but you're sorely lacking in manners. Illya shrugs, looking disgusted. Dang. Alright. What did you say? Saber and Tosaka are once again in sync. A whole new kind of intensity comes over them. Well, I'm not going to get into that with you. I don't have time to deal with the two of you right now. Illya turns from them to face me. Hey, big brother. Illya? I would like to thank you, Master of Saber, from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being so concerned about me, even though I was your enemy, and almost killed you, and would have done so gladly. Yay! I stared at Illya in disbelief. So suddenly is this, that even Saber goes quiet. Tosaka just keeps drinking her milk, giving Illya the stink eye. And then, Illya smiles that familiar smile of hers. Just kidding! Yep, you sure are, my brother. Yeah, someone commented about, like, them actually biologically being brothers, but I then asked if that was canonical, and they never got back, so I don't know. I have no proof of that one way or the other, so please don't spoil that, if that is true or not, until it comes to light. What's going on? Tosaka spits out her milk. I don't know why someone giving me a hug would cause such disgust from you. What the? I can almost hear the vein popping in Saber's forehead. What are they so upset about? Unhand him, you insolent fool. Saber rushes toward me. Illya twists around, swinging to my back. Who's being uncivil here? A servant like you has no right to command me. I have neither obligation nor intent to obey you. If you will speak so brazenly, then you will remove yourself from Shirou's presence this instant. I don't think she's being brash. I'm not listening to you. Hey Shirou, let's do the same thing we did last night. You give me a piggyback ride, right? Aw. That's cute. She's like a puppy. Like, you're like, you just peed on the carpet, but like, I can't help but stay, like, I can't stay mad at you. Illya spins around me. Oh. Wee. It's like the scene from Dawn to Dawn where Gigi and Otonoke are whirling around Momo. Oh man. Saber hurries after her, trying to catch her. Beep. ... Tongue sticking out. This is bad. What specifically is bad? Well, it's just bad. That's what I'm saying. Like, what's wrong with this? The two can't stop glaring at each other. Must be because Tosaka is just watching from afar, but she just wipes the milk off her mouth as if nothing is happening and says, "Look, I don't care what you do, but if you keep that up, you're gonna kill him. We're about to go train with swords. I don't think a child running around me is gonna kill me." The two peer curiously at me. It's pretty clear. My neck's getting wrenched around. I now face the greatest danger of my life. Is there something I'm missing? Okay, let's review the current situation. The hamburg steak I'd been working so hard on is packed away in the freezer. First, there's Tosaka. She's being relatively quiet. She seems to be keeping a straight face, and it looks like she's just going to watch things play out. But who can say what she might be thinking to herself? What is it, Shirou? Illya's sitting next to me, and for some reason she looks like she's in a good mood. She's looking curiously around the living room, but it doesn't look like Saber or Tosaka are much concerned to her. Whatever. Either of them might say is likely to go in one ear and out the other. And then there's the one I'm most concerned about. Saber. She's glaring anxiously at both me and Illya. I don't get what the concern is. Like, genuinely, like, Tosaka, I mean, okay, they're concerned because the murderous fiend is now trying to, like, nuzzle up to me. I kind of get that, but come on, like, just let it slide. She's not usually so fidgety and restless. It feels like I'm resting on a bed of nails. So I can't leave things like this. I don't know what is going to come of this, but I do have to do something about the situation. Let's settle this. Oh, I thought we were about to have a choice of, like, spend time with one of 3 girls, kind of a thing. If we keep this up, it'll drag out until lunch. Can I please make breakfast? You're right. We've already come to a conclusion, so we should get rid of the problem as soon as possible. Isn't that right, Saber? Is correct, Ren. And I are in agreement. So we just need to convince Shirou. Saber's really digging her heels in. Huh? Hey Shirou, what do you think Saber and Ren are talking about? They're talking about getting rid of you. We're gonna abandon you on a street like an Indian baby. Sorry. Hey, I'm not talking about any American Indians, okay? From social studies classes in middle school and high school, that's what happens. That happens in a lot of cultures. A lot of Eastern cultures apparently do that to their child. So not necessarily just babies, but like there's a guy that was he's big on Instagram Reels and TikTok. Reed Choi, I believe is his name. Yeah, Reed Choi, and he talked about his experience as a kid growing up in America with like parents that were originally from Korea, I believe, and they would just like abandon him places, and then they would eventually come back for him. But that was, for that culture, that was just considered like punishment. Granted, that's still abuse, but it's different from I'm just gonna leave my baby on the street. But even in like Western Greco-Roman antiquity, that was something that happened all the time, unfortunately. Oh, they want to talk about what we should do with you. You lost your servant, so we want to know what you plan to do from now on. There's only two obvious options. Either take her to the church for shelter, or send her back to her castle in the forest. Her staying here is out of the question. Do you feel the same way, Shirou? Illya looks at me, her face emotionless. No, I don't feel the same. Let's keep her. She's like a cat or a dog. Come on. Shelter Illya. Take her to the church. Well, I was saying earlier, take her to the church. I feel like if we shelter her, the emotional side of me wants to say shelter. There's definitely another side of me that wants to take her to the church. Frick it, let's keep her around, please. I know this probably isn't the good thing, but hey, we're gonna do it. Hiritsugu always told me to protect girls, and I don't like seeing kids suffer. Well, I think Illya should stay here. The Holy Grail War isn't over. I want to shelter Illya until the last of the masters are taken care of. Yay! Yep, if Shirou says so, I'll stay here. Yay! Suck it, losers. Hey, Illya, you're choking me. I can't breathe. I intend to pry off Illya from me, but before I get a chance, Saber steps over and does it for me. What's with you? You've been getting in my way this whole time. Do you have some sort of problem with me? Yes, she does. Don't answer that. Ask that. Of course I do. Oh wait, different voice. Of course I do. I will never forget what you did to Shirou. And you, Shirou. Do you still not understand that nothing good will come of sheltering Illya's veil? They sound like Taiga when she was trying to prevent me from sheltering Ren at the moment. What about it? Illya doesn't have a servant anymore, so she's not dangerous. She's no longer a master. Besides, how would you feel if she got attacked after we abandoned her? Illya's life would be in danger, and the other masters might gain power from her. Yes, that might be true, but... Saber hesitates. No matter what she says, Saber understands that another master might attack Illya if we leave her alone. Then, it's my turn to argue. I'm sorry to jump in after you've convinced Saber, but I don't agree. Look, Shirou, she's still a master. She may have lost her servant, but I also will take a words away from the screen while I'm in the middle of reading. Told you that as long as she has command spells, she is still a master. Then we just, get her to bibbidi-boppy-boo them away. She says that. Tosaka just butts in while she sips her tea. Eh? Hey, what is that supposed to mean, Tosaka? I'm saying that as long as her command spells, as she has her command spells, she can form a contract with as many servants as she wants. There are stray servants who don't have masters, and as long as a master has the capacity to take in that stray servant, they can form contracts with as many as they want. What the heck? So if there's a capable master around, they can form contracts with as many servants as they want? I feel like this was information that we already went over, way long ago. I mean, obviously it's a longer game, so they're going to reiterate, but we've talked about this. Not exactly as many as they want. The Holy Grail can only call upon 7 heroic spirits. No 7 would be the max. So 7, not no 7, would be the maximum. Though no matter how capable a mage is, they couldn't have enough magical energy to power multiple servants. Even if they did, they would have to divide their own magical energy in half to supply the 2 servants. That would weaken the servants, which would make forming multiple contracts difficult and pointless. I see. So if I formed a contract with Saber and Berserker, they would have to split my magical energy between them to maintain their existence, which would drastically weaken both of them. That means it would make more sense to keep to one servant and supply them with magical energy. Now that you mention it, didn't you say servants could change masters? Is this what you meant? Yes. Oh, look at you, catching on for a change. And you're right, Shirou. That's how servants changing masters goes. A servant who's lost their master has some time before disappearing, so if in that time they can find a master who's seeking a servant and form a contract, they'll be fine. Yes, so that's why you can't let your guard down with Ren and Shirou. Oh, I mean, Illya's bringing a valid point, like Grit is still in the race too. She's still a master too. She might kill and seize Saber. Or she might form a new contract with any surviving servant. Yep, and I could say the same exact thing about you, Illya. That's never going to happen. I don't intend on teaming up with another servant. My servant is and will only ever be Berserker. She is kind of like a... That is very childish to be like, kind of like, that was my stuffed animal. That's the only stuffed animal. Like, I don't know. There's a kind of possessiveness that a child has about things that I don't think... I mean, adults can have, but not to the same extreme. I don't know if what I'm saying there makes sense. I don't know what kind of relationship Illya and Berserker had, but I do know that servant was special to her. That is a surprise, but at the same time, it makes me happy. I'm happy to know that despite the fact that, as master, Illya was relentless, she still cherished her partner. Oh, but if Shirou loses, I'll take Saber. Okay. I won't let anyone other than Shirou win. Hey, at least, I will say, Illya is a very honest and straightforward character. Like, if she says something, she genuinely means it. So, with her saying this, I think she is very genuine, and there's no issue with us keeping her here. But if Shirou loses, I'll win on his behalf. Illya says that proudly, just as she was starting to impress Saber and Tosaka. That is ridiculous. I am Shirou's servant. I have no intention of becoming your servant. Well, I don't care anyway. I just want Shirou to win. Whether I win or Saber protects Shirou, it's all the same to me. Huh? What a weird thing to say. Actually, she wants me to win. Why would she think like that anyway? But then, Tosaka must have found it strange too. She starts to think. I certainly mind. I will not approve no matter what. Rin, please warn Shirou yourself. Eh? I'm sorry, I wasn't listening. Tell him what, Saber? About how we are against sheltering Ilyasville here. Oh, that. I guess sheltering her here wouldn't be a terrible idea. Yeah, we convinced them, boys. We're keeping her. Alright. Huh? Saber freezes. I had advocated for this, and even I'm surprised. I don't blame the opposing Saber for being frozen in shock. Have you lost your mind? No. If I think about this rationally, I see the risks are all the same. It doesn't matter whether we leave Illya alone, give her shelter here, or send her off to the church. Yeah, I guess she's still in the game. Regardless, here at least, you get to check in and see what she's up to. It may even work out in our favor if masters come here looking for Illya. With Saber as she is now, she would be hard even for multiple servants to defeat if they attacked together. They'd be the fastest way to end this Holy Grail War, and that's what you want too, isn't it, Saber? But if you think you lose to other servants, that's another story. Of course not. You understand my condition perfectly. So long as Shirou is my master, I cannot be defeated. Right. Then us sheltering Illya isn't the problem. And there's something else. Shirou's decision might have actually been a really smart move. Tosaka goes quiet. She must have convinced Saber, who reluctantly takes a step back from Illya. Okay. Alright, training. Alright, I was kind of hoping we would finish up this scene. I didn't know if we're a little under an hour for this recording. That's kind of... I don't know. I knew I wanted to record for longer for today's episode and tomorrow's, but I think that's where we're going to end this one with that scene being done and kind of things getting sorted out there. So we'll pick up with training tomorrow. I hope you guys are doing all right, and I'll see you then. Bye!